Okay? Go ahead, bring it back. Okay? Again, just get the idea of getting this advantage. Okay? Extend out, take advantage. Back. I want you to do this idea now with switching into a fourth position because this is what keeps you safe. Okay? Stringering the blade and closing the line at the same time. So as you extend out to stringer the blade, bring your sword up into fourth and close his direct line to you. Okay? Nope, he still has a line right at you. Remember, fourth comes across your body. If you need to step a little bit out to the side, step to the side for that. Okay? While he's pointed at me, if to do this, I step a little bit offline to hit it, okay? You don't want to force your blade into his because then you're attacking, okay? Right now, with just the idea of stringering, if you have to take a little bit of a step to the side as you do it to keep that contact off and to close that line, do that, okay? The line is not closed. Extend the arm down. Slight extension. You want to bring it across your body. That way, if she comes at you, it's going to hit the sword right off the side of your head. You can still look down your sword and see come near your eyes. You haven't closed the line yet. Here.
Or you can actually step this way off the line.
Yep. Slight.
Is the sword pointing at your face anymore? But if we're over here in fourth, you're now protected from his sword as well.
Okay. Okay, gain the sword in fourth, this side. Okay? Gain the sword in fourth. Nope, don't want to lean in yet. Don't extend yet. Okay? He's a little different because he's tall. It means you have to do this slightly differently. You need to keep your guard about there, but you need to bring your tip up a little more to do it, okay? Unfortunately, given his height and his reach, it's going to be hard for you to do. Alright, this side, I want you to stringer your opponent's sword in fourth, okay? This is the very first play at Capo Ferro. Now, if your opponent's an idiot and doesn't know what to do, I want you to step in. Nope, on guard, I didn't say to stop. Okay? I want you to step in while in fourth. This is not a lunge, okay? I want you to step into your opponent in fourth. Keep the sword where it is. No, stay where you are. We are not beating the system yet, okay? I need everybody to understand how this works first.
Nobody gets to win.
Okay? Okay? This is like heavy metal. You die, she dies. Exactly. Alright, stringer in fourth and then step into your opponent. Now, if you stand over there, see this? This is, Alice and I did this once, okay? Watch, okay? I'm going to stringer Malice in fourth. Then I'm just going to walk into him, okay? If your opponent's an idiot, this is what you can do to him. And this is what would happen in period. People didn't understand this. At this point that I have taken mechanical advantage, if he does nothing, I'm going to walk right into him. What I am not going to do is this. I'm not going to stringer his sword and then shoot out in fourth. Because what can happen then? I've lost my mechanical advantage. As soon as I came out of fourth to kill him, I lost it. Which is why this is not a lunge at this point. This is I've taken advantage of you and you're a complete newbie. And I'm just going to walk into him. Okay? It's the very, very basis of the system. That's the first bit of plate 7. Okay? You need to work with your opponent. Okay, this side, stringer in fourth, and step into your opponent with that guard held in fourth and the line closed.
You need to keep your hand below his point.
Yep. Yep.
And mind you, when you step in, you might raise your hand slightly.
Now you can bring your hand up. As soon as you got that, now you can bring your hand up.
Yeah, this is really hard being shorter.
You can cross over your step. You don't have to do this. As you come in,
Okay.
you can cross over. Okay? Again.
Oh.
So, I'm going to get down to this card here. I'm here, and I simply come across the board. Look, that I don't have to do anything.
The height difference just means you have to change your angulation.
Yep, just a little.
Okay?
So is this where it would be right here?
You want your guard to be slightly below his box.
But you also need to cross your body.
Yep.
Okay?
Can you still see his point?
Good. Okay? Now, step in. There you go. See how his point just handily went off to the side? Stop it, Guinness. You're a punchy dummy. Everyone else here is a punchy dummy. Yeah, we'll switch off the other side in a moment. Okay. One more pass on this side and you switch sides, and you guys are the punching dummies. Okay? Trigger and forth. Okay? You're not on. There you go.
He's got his foot.
Well, it is. She's short, and so she has to modify what she's doing. Okay? Step in. Cross over.
I'm a barbarian for an American woman.
Okay. Switch sides. Well, stay on the same side. Other side. Okay. So, this side will now extend and stringer and forth. So this side will start here in your Capo Ferro stance. And if you have to step a little off to the side to do it, you'll step in and stringer and forth. Okay? She did right all the time. Okay? Step in, stringer and forth, and then you'll come in behind it.
Just walk your opponent. This is not lunging.
You're not wearing masks. The idea here is in order to have
Just like this power.
understand the idea of what's going on. Hold, okay? The idea is we have our stances correct, our guards correct. What's up? What's up? I love you.
Muscle mechanics along with visualization. So you've got to keep your body trained to enter that straight line. Right elbow, or guard, or sword. Pointed at his throat. Whether it be a straight line from here to his throat, or that you can see the point at his throat. One or the other. Doesn't really matter.
You are the punching dummy. Don't try to roll your sword. Don't try and do anything cute right now. When it comes down to it, I can think of 25 ways to beat most of you. I'm not doing that because I'm trying to teach you.
Don't change the line after you've got the line closed.
Once you close it, step in, get that forward.
Straight out of it. You actually walk to the line towards me. So now, walk straight out. See? You raise your hand after this.
Menace him. Yeah. If you walk straight ahead, where you're at, I can tell from behind him, your tip, if I drew a line from your tip, is over his head. It's better. That's menace. That's right around his throat chin area. Not if you walk toward him. The way you were looking at it is by the time you got to him with your tip that high, yes, it would hit him in the face. But at distance, you want to be pointed right there. You good over there, Jim? ideas in it that form the basis of his system. Stringering and closing your line as you attack, those are huge. Those form the basis of almost everything. If you don't close your line, you take your life in your own hands. If you don't create that defense before you attack or counterattack, who knows what's going to happen? You might get them. I'm exceptionally fast. I'll probably get it. But I'll definitely be safer doing it if I close the line first. Yes. Huh?
It's not.
The left hand, if you're left-handed?
It's not. If you're still closing the line in fourth, you're working second.
Most of the time, well, a lot of times you can when you go to left-handed standards, you substitute second and fourth.
Sometimes.
Depending on the plate, okay? If you are left-handed, okay?
You want to be on their outside line instead of their inside line.
So if I'm a stringer, it truly doesn't actually really matter. I can stringer you. I can step in with you left-handed. I can step in and stringer you just like this. And then if I walk in, it's still the same idea. I'm still going to push you right off my sword. Okay? Left-hand or right-hand, it doesn't matter. What I'm doing, the only thing I'm doing right now is closing your line. If you come straight at me, same thing. If I close the line here, and you come at me left-handed,
Don't worry about it.
same idea. You're gonna miss. For some of the techniques, you do switch from second to fourth or fourth to second with what you're doing.
No matter which line they're on.
So it actually doesn't matter that much right now. But there are times when it does.
So another thing that I want to say that we see in the
Oh, nice.
PSA all the time is somebody switching the line after they have engagement. So what we have happen is somebody comes in here and they gain the sword. And what they do is this.
Green one?
And that's what we'll do. Once you have the line, keep it.
Keep it. Don't mess with it. Because again, this comes back to timing. Don't waste your time, because anytime you do something, that's an opportunity for me to kill you or for me to do something else. If you close the line, don't get cute. Don't try and change it to a different close line. Okay? That's the first step. We're going to move into the second play. We're going to move into the second part of the first play. Okay? Malice and I aren't kidding when we say that you could work on plate 7 for weeks to really get all the nuances. Okay? Because it has a lot to, I mean, it's the basis of 70% of Capo Ferro's system. So, here's the second idea, and I'm going to tell you two things about it as we go, all right? So let's say that we step in, I stringer Malice in fourth. Now, Malice isn't quite an idiot. Malice realizes that he is in a bad position. He doesn't want to be here. What should Malice do?
Get his hand out of his pocket.
Malice might be thinking it might be the last pleasure he ever has, and so you know what? So I've stringered Malice in fourth. Okay? He's not entirely happy with this. What should Malice do? What can he possibly do to make his life better?
Disengage.
A disengage. That's exactly it. That's the next step in Capo Ferro's play, because honestly, that's what an intelligent person should do. Right now, we're just going to... You can disengage and attack, or you can just disengage. Okay? A disengage takes time. When you disengage, you are at risk. In a standard disengage, Capo Ferro will say, if you are to disengage...
You're going to do this very big, don't do it this way.
Okay. All right. That was very big. Okay, now do it again, because that takes time. Okay? If you are to disengage, one, don't do it like that. But two, even when you do a small disengage, it takes time. Capo Ferro will say when you disengage, you should do so with a small step back, unless you're disengaging into an attack. Okay? Do not stand still and disengage unless you plan to attack out of the disengage. So if Malice were just going to disengage...
Just disengage. You said just disengage.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you were going to disengage without an attack, he's going to move back a little bit. It can be his body. Ideally, it comes with about a little 3-inch step back. A little step back.
A lot of us will do it with just the front foot. You don't have to move both feet.
Okay? Now, plate 7 is actually a disengage into an attack. Okay? So the idea is the second person, once his sword has been gained, okay, he doesn't like that. That's bad for him. He is going to disengage, bring his sword into second, and attack with a lunge. And again, okay, so two things happened there. He disengaged to clear, to gain the line on me. He disengaged to get me out, to get rid of my offensive advantage, and gain the line. And then he moved into second to close off my line to him. So he gained my sword, and then he closed the line, which is exactly what everybody here did in the very first instance by string grip. Okay? Let's go through it slow again. Okay? Come to measure. I step in, gain his sword. Malice doesn't like this. He disengages, switches into second, and lunges. Again, my line's closed. Without me doing something fairly radical, he's going to hit me. And even if, go ahead, even if I go to chop or anything, he is going to have hit me and driven 8 inches of steel through my torso before I can even start.
Wait, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens if you still cut even after a hit. So I'm going to put it under your arm so I get 8 inches of steel behind it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. I mean,
Good, make the cut. Yep.
you know, I'm not going to hurt him. I mean, at most he's going to get a... I mean, my best bet at this point is that I did put crap on my sword and he might die a few weeks later. Okay?
If my clothes aren't thick enough.
Right. So, we're moving further into the first plate. Now what happens if the second person is more intelligent? Again, I mean, this works really quick. Malice and I can do this at speed with masks on. We're not going to at the moment. But the idea is this is how a basic exchange might happen. Each one of these is an important small part of fencing. Okay? Stringering, closing the line, disengage, or disengage and attack. We're now on the third concept, effectively. So, I'm going to stringer to Malice's blade. He's going to disengage, turn into second, and lunge.
It's great when I got a point of contact on him. It's just a nice long run.
I'm dead. That's if your opponent is slightly smarter. Remember how I said the first one, if you just come up into fourth and stringer your opponent and he's an idiot, I'm just going to walk right in behind the fourth. If he's not an idiot, he's going to, at the very minimum, disengage to change the lines.
Or at least, at the minimum, change the line.
Yes.
Disengaging is a way of doing it.
Yes. So, let's step into that.